Hi everybody, so welcome back. I thought I'd do some Neuro Art today. This is really aimed at beginners, but it's some nice effects in here. So I've just drawn around 3 circles, just randomly around different objects and things, and then I've filled them in with a little bit of masking fluid. And make sure I washed my brush straight away because it can ruin your brush. And then once it was dry, I dried it with a hairdryer, and once it was dry, I just went over the top with a lovely deep rich colour, and it's a bit like a Payne's grey really, but it's a very lovely colour to go over the top. And it didn't matter how I put it on quite messily, quite rough. I didn't really think about it much and just went ahead and just did it straight over the top of the masking fluid as well. And so there was no worries about, anything at all. And just put it on really, really rough, and then just went over it all. And as you can see, it adds like a resistance. So obviously for you beginners out there, where the masking fluid is now, once I rub that off, it will be bare underneath. So then I went completely over the top, and while it was still wet, I placed on my cling film. You've all seen me do this before. I'm sure you've done it lots of times as well, but I wanted like a little bit of a frosty effect in the background of these circles today. And so I spent quite a bit of time. It looks like I'm fiddling a bit on here actually, but I'm trying to get it, a nice even sort of patterning going on, and definitely a frosty look with the background, or a marbly look, but I wanted it to just be faint. It's the balls that I want to stand out, so I've literally done it so that this will all be faint in the background. And what you do is you leave it on. You can either leave it on to dry once you've placed it on, or put your hairdryer on a cool setting and then dry it. And then once it's dry, you can peel it off like this. And it leaves a beautiful look, frosty effect underneath, especially if you use this particular colour. I really like using this colour. And then I rubbed off the masking fluid. A little tip here, I haven't done it here actually because I didn't think it was going to rip, but normally you would go from the outside inwards, because if you go from the inside out, it can sometimes rip into the paint where you've just painted, so just be careful. But I had dried it well, so I wasn't worried. But you can see that what I'm doing there, like I'm doing there, look, just pulling it in onto the area rather than going the other way. Or do circular movements, that works well as well, and you can feel it. So take your time doing that, and you really do have to rub quite hard to get it off again. I could have gone round them, but I thought it would just be nice to carry on and stay loose. Added some water, and then this is a red paint. Believe it or not, this paint is an orange colour, but it looks quite red on here for some reason. And then I went in with a deeper red round the edge. I fetched off those little areas you saw there with a baby wipe while it was still wet, which gave it a little bit of a light. Looks like the light shining from the left. And then while it was wet as well in the baubles, I went on with some isopropyl and alcohol. Any alcohol would work. Just like sprinkled it and splattered it on top of the baubles there, and again it creates a nice effect, like a dimpled effect, like so you can see cells moving around inside the balls. So then I decided to change them into like random apples, which I thought would be fun, making sure that the stems didn't go the same way, because on apples, if you put them in a bowl, they wouldn't be the same way, would they? They'd all be in different directions. And it always adds to the realism, although that my apples are just bouncing about or floating. That's what I wanted them to be, because I'm going to be doing Neuro Art over the top. I could have put shadows in and could have put them on a table, and that one bouncing off the table if I wanted. That would have been another nice idea. But no, I fancied them floating about. And then, of course, when you do the Neuro Art over the top, it will give it like an effect of, like I've always say to you about, like they're caught up in a net, or they've bounced into a net. So the next thing that I've done is I've added some white splatters. I just did those with a brush, and I did them with some white gesso because it's really, really white. And while I got the white gesso, I just went over where those little areas were, where I dabbed away the paint a little bit. And then I went in with a little bit of white gel pen actually, and did that all around, and to make a different line in the background, a quiet conversation if you like. And now I'm taking my time and I'm doing my neuro lines over the top. So I'm drawing in some neuro lines, trying not to make them straight into trying to make each line different, and where the connections are, where it crosses out, where the lines cross over, I'm just rounding them off. So that's the neuro lines. So no lines will be the same. We don't want no patterns the same. We want to really think about it and do them all different. All the lines must be different so that you've not got no patterns forming the same like we do with our brain, and then we'll want them all different. So really think about that part when you're doing it. Some of these I had going over the top of the ball, and then some of them I had going underneath them. And the way that you do that is that you stop at the top of the ball or wherever you want, and then you do that on the opposite side as well. And then you can wrap it round if you want to, and then go back into the same ball if you want to. It makes it different. And so just going around the edges a little bit now, and making the lines stand out a little bit more. Once I'd done a few of the connections, I decided to go over the neuro lines again because they didn't stand out very much. If you do your neuro lines and everything, try and do that all in one go. Try not to have a break doing that, because that's where the relaxation comes in. And so here we are. This is what you get, that lovely frosty lines in the background, and that lovely effect in my sketchbook now. And really pleased. So I hope you like it too, and have a go. Bye.